back to Newsarama's Skybox here at New York Comic Con. I'm Grace Randolph.
I'm Justin Tyler.
And we are here with the directors and star of Zero Charisma, Andrew Matthews, Katie Graham are the directors, and of course, you also wrote the script. And this is our star, Sam EIDSON.
That was masterfully done.
That was great.
That was, even I was a blur for me.
Bam, bam, bam.
So you guys screened the movie last night here at New York Comic Con. How was it to see it on the big screen? You got a crowd there. It must have been awesome.
It was great.
Yeah.
It was great. I can't think of a better audience, you know?
Yeah. And today, have you been awash in people recognizing
Yeah,
you for sure?
Yes, for sure. It's kind of weird that people actually recognize me, but I guess we were kind of joking that people would try to dress up like Scott Wiedemeyer. But
Has anyone offered to join your group?
No, not yet. Not yet.
It'll happen.
After you see the
it'll
movie,
happen.
you'll understand.
Right.
What they're talking about.
Yeah.
Well, tell us about the movie for those that haven't seen it.
The movie is sort of a comedy drama about a domineering and obsessive game master who runs a tabletop role-playing game similar to Dungeons & Dragons, except this is one that he's created himself. He's that passionate. And his whole game is kind of thrown into chaos when a new player comes to his game who's sort of like a cool, hip type gamer nerd.
He has like a website like Newsarama or something,
yes,
right?
he has a cool geek website, and
It's
he's
called Geek Chic. In
geek
the
chic in the film. Yeah, so he's like a kind of a new school cool geek as opposed to Scott, who is the old school gamer nerd. And this makes Scott very insecure, and he's worried that this new guy is gonna take his friends away from him, and so he goes to some perhaps extreme lengths to try to assert his dominance over the game, and ends up alienating himself anyway. So it's kind of a character study of seeing how this guy deals with this emotional journey.
Yes, it's a comedy drama.
Yeah.
It is.
Comedy.
Well,
It is comedy.
one of the things I really thought was great about it is that everyone in Hollywood is talking about fanboys in this community because the movies are making so much money, but they aren't depicting them realistically. And you guys wanted to show like a real portrait of that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That
I
was
think-
really important to us.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been kind of saying, talking about it. It's like you see a lot of geeks in pop culture, or nerds in pop culture, and and it's kind of like a Hollywood actor in nerd drag, where you're like, no, that's
Throw some
not,
glasses on his face.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
a nerd.
That,
some
he's got a
tape.
pocket protector. You should do it. It's
Right.
like, we really wanted, we wanted authentic, geeks and nerds, and we wanted the real deal.
Yeah, it's just a shame because there's so many different types of people in that subculture that are just completely unrepresented. Like the kind of geek that Sam portrays is sort of like a metalhead, kind of a tough guy geek, which I can't think of an example in that in a film.
But we all know them, though.
Yeah,
we all know.
But
we
I
all know
can't
the type.
think of
Immediately. It was
Well,
great.
growing up playing Dungeons & Dragons, that's who my friends were.
Yeah.
Right.
It was all like metal music and sort of.
That kind of like tough nerd,
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like, that's such a dude, and it was like such an exciting thing to embark on a film like about this guy that you've seen so much of, that we've known personally, types like that, and to like tell a story about it.
Yeah, whereas the usual nerd that you see, I mean, I've never seen a pocket protector in real life before. I don't know if you guys have.
I don't even know if it could be a made-up thing.
It could be.
It was just invented for Revenge of the Nerds.
Yeah.
Like, oh, it's a funny thing. It's just a weird prop.
It just stuck.
And I feel like it's such a fine line with something like this, where you're presenting a character without, like, are we supposed to make fun of him? Are we supposed to like him? Like, that's tricky, I would guess. In the process, did you find that?
Yeah, and that was, it is a comedy, so we do want it to be, you want to have characters who are extreme in their passions, and will drive them to do things that, you can maybe cringe at, that are silly, but at the same time, it's supposed to reflect feelings that hopefully the audience has.
Yeah.
Right.
That everybody knows what it's like to be insecure, or to feel like your turf is getting threatened, and to react in ways that maybe don't make the situation any better.
Make it much worse.
Yeah, so
I mean, we wanted to poke fun at nerd culture. Obviously, it's a comedy about nerds, but it's also
It's
we
very
have
truthful.
respect. I mean,
Yeah.
it's I have great respect for the character of Scott, even though he's such a difficult guy. Like, to me, I love that character.
yeah, because he's passionate.
Yes,
Yeah.
he's
And he's
passionate.
principled,
Yes, yes.
and committed, and those like great qualities.
Well, I think
Yeah.
also it's a very darkly honest film, which I really respected. But so Sam, tell us where does Sam and Scott, where are they similar? Where are they different?
How close?
They're pretty different.
You're like, I hate
yeah, I'm not.
comics.
Oh no, I mean I love all that stuff. I mean I'm just in his behavior, you know. I'm not like a in your face kind of guy. I can be though. I'm tough.
The ears.
You made direct eye contact.
Yeah.
I can be.
Yeah.
Sure, Sam.
No, I actually like the metal version of Scott. That's what I can really get into. I like, you know, he's got tons of energy, so I just try to use all that energy towards, because Scott is just always on. He's always like in your face, always intense. So that I had to get that down, because sometimes I might have been more like subdued, and they're like, no, cut that out. You know, like he's always in your face. He's always, or if not, he's always, you know, dramatic. Like he's always theatrical, or there's always a reason for him to do something. Like everything he does has a purpose to get. He has his own agenda, you know. So yeah.
He's like the Walter White of
Right.
nerd,
You don't
nerd
know
culture.
when he's being honest, and like, there's a great little layer to him with that. Yeah, but no, I never played D&D before this.
But you have now, I assume.
I haven't.
Oh, what? You have,
I mean,
you have to make
the
him
game.
play.
Actually, we're trying to get together a game with like all the actors, because some of the actors have played.
That would be
some,
really fun.
Some
I
had
think.
not.
Right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But it was like there's just no time.
Yeah.
I mean, it was like, you know,
making
we
a
got to
movie,
do the
yeah.
costumes,
Yeah.
and no, we need you to do this. I mean, you know, that's like you kind of go, well, we'll do that
We
afterwards.
have to
maybe.
cancel a shoot day because we have to play.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you don't
It would
mind.
be very authentic, though. Well, one of the things I wanted to ask also, though, because you didn't get it. I know the movie. You know, it's Scott's story, but you didn't get really to focus too much on the growing female fan. You know, it's great to have a woman co-director on this. Do you think maybe that's something you would explore maybe for your next project or something like that? I mean.
Yeah, that
It was
was
weird because I think Andrew was originally talking about having a female.
That's true,
player,
yeah.
And I was kind of, sort of against it in the
Oh,
movie.
interesting.
Just because I felt like if you're just going to get a handful, since it's not like a large population of, you know,
There's not a
gamers,
lot of
not a lot
gamers
of gamers
represented in
the
the
film.
movie. It's just this
I
one
felt like
group.
it is such a male-dominated
Yeah.
situation, and I felt like that's more honest. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Even though obviously there are women who are
Yeah.
very much in
Well,
the
for
game.
my part, like I never played with a girl growing
Right,
up.
yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
our group was
Well,
guys.
this is a
and
new
that's-
change.
This is a new change,
Yeah.
and he represents sort of the old school thing, and also the character of Scott. You know, he has issues with.
Well, that's a big subplot.
Women.
Right?
Yeah.
you can't be like, there's one right there.
Yeah, let's just say he's like, you know, is nervous or is not. He doesn't feel like in control
Yes.
around the opposite sex as
Yeah,
much as he
that
wants
would
to.
be-
And for him, it's very important to feel in control all the time. So I was kind of like, maybe he wouldn't, you know. And so, yeah, actually, it's interesting you say that because we are kind of like thinking about like developing this into possibly some sort of episodic thing, like a web series.
Oh, that would be great.
Or a TV show, and one of the subplots is that like, you know, a friend wants to play and it's a girl and it just makes him like very
Oh, I
nervous
love
and,
it.
and it's like she's a good player but he's too nervous to be
Yes,
a dungeon
yeah.
master.
That would be
Yeah.
fantastic.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
making me nervous thinking about it.
And this was the first movie from Nerdist.
Yes.
How did that come about? That's such a big step for Nerdist and you guys as well. I imagine.
That was somebody with the Nerdist saw it at South by Southwest, and
Jonah Ray,
Jonah
who does
Ray.
the podcast
Oh, yeah.
a lot.
Yeah, and he first was like, we saw tweets. That's how it always starts relationships these days, right? It's always you see a tweet and you're like, wow, this person liked the movie.
Yeah.
And then he contacted us and said, can I have a screener to show some friends? And we're like,
We're like,
yes,
yes.
of course.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it's slowly like passed around to a lot of people. We just actually bumped into somebody right outside who's here from the Nerdist,
Ah.
who we had not met yet. And he was
Yeah.
like, I love the movie. And it was one of
Yeah.
those guys who they were passing it around to.
Yeah, so it went up
Oh,
the
that's
chain.
awesome.
Yeah.
The Nerdist and
And finally, we got an email from
Yes.
Peter Levin, the CEO, who was like, I want to, we're looking into maybe getting into doing some kind of film production or distribution or something. Would
And
you guys
it's
be interested?
Multi-platform, which is really cool.
Yeah, yeah.
So like right now, people can watch it on like iTunes,
Yeah.
Amazon.
It's on all the
right?
VOD and digital
Yeah.
right now,
Yes,
and
yes.
we have a limited theatrical, which you can go to www.zerocharisma. Did I say www.zerocharismathemovie.com to see
Uh-huh.
if it's playing in your city?
yeah, it's
So
playing in
many
about
movies.
10 cities.
Yeah,
so.
it's
Great.
awesome.
But then the Nerdist, they have never done it before, so like
Yeah.
they couldn't like jump in. So they were saying we should partner with somebody, and their first pick was Tribeca,
That's great.
which has turned out
Gives
to be
you the best of both worlds.
Yes,
Yeah.
it does. It has to
Yeah.
give that
Totally.
indie film
Yeah.
You've got
credibility.
cachet everywhere.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Indie
Just
cred.
swimming in cash.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's been an ideal situation
It
for us.
is.
So we're
Yeah, I mean, we basically shot this film in our backyard in Austin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so to
That's so
have like a
cool.
platform like this has been incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been so awesome.
Well, now that you've had the psyche, you've explored the mind of the gamer. What advice do you have for gamers out there who have similar problems that Scott
wow.
does?
I think Andrew should take this one. Well, I play board games. I play like Arkham Horror. I was gonna say like that's a pretty intense game too. I mean, I understand the role-playing game. I've never played anything as intense as D&D. But what were you saying earlier? I mean, the whole point is if everyone's having fun, then you're doing it right. I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, you'll see the movie and there's a lot. Scott's got like his whole mentality of taking the game too seriously or whatever. But I think in that case, having fun is the whole point. You're supposed to. I mean, you're allowed to be obsessed with it and take it very seriously. But there's always a line. But yeah, I think especially people who haven't played D&D. I haven't played it, but I totally would love to.
We're gonna play.
Let's
Yeah.
play.
You're gonna
Yeah.
play this end of this month. We're gonna
Yeah.
have a
Totally.
game. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thanks for talking to us, guys, and
Yeah.
good luck with the movie. And you guys, stay tuned for plenty more from New York Comic Con.